Welcome to What the Wrestling, the podcast where you break down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and the wildest stories from the world of pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or just stepping into the squared circle, we're here to give you the real scoop on everything happening in the ring.
I'm your host, RJD, and we're about to take a ride through the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Get ready for all our hot takes, deep dives, and all the wrestling you never knew you needed.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and join What the Wrestling family so you never miss an episode. Now let's step into the ring.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. AEW coming to you live from where I live in New York City. We're here to talk about AEW Dynamite. Let us not waste any more time. Let's get into the Dynamite review. Let's go. Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. No, we are not leaving. Don't worry about that. Hopefully all is well. Please, everybody, hit the like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Also, What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. Absolutely. All that. So, AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, everybody. It was alright. We had some good, we had some bad. We had some good, we had some bad. I'm not one of those people who just absolutely poo-poos on AEW Dynamite every week. I know there are people out there like that, but I am not like that. But what I am, besides thirsty, all right. Sometimes you gotta drink some water, y'all, all right? Sometimes you gotta drink some water. But what I am is very interested and very interesting to see exactly what is moving forward. The Forbidden Door is closed.
Stop it.
It's closed. That's it. So now we are back and on to what? Full Gear. Coming up soon. Full Gear in the Prudential Center. Not gonna lie. The likelihood of me going to that show,
It's over 9,000!
high. Very high. So we will see what happens moving forward. But at the end of the day, I appreciate AEW. Middle of the road show. A lot of profanity over there. Jesus Christ. I think they were in Philly. And I did see something that was very dope where Tony Khan kind of surprised Taz with all the wrestlers at the end and shouted Taz out and all that. If I'm not mistaken, that I saw that on Twitter. Hook is back. We'll get into that. So very cool to see Taz, ECW OG, Tony Khan, I think he cut this promo. This wasn't on the show, but he cut this promo talking about how when he was 13 years old, he wore an orange shirt, and the shirt he wore was the T-shirt that for Taz that everybody had on, and he hasn't been back to that building since. And he rocks with Taz, and he appreciates Taz. Taz got a little choked up and was like, "I talk for a living, but I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say." And Hook is back, and I presume the family was giving each other hugs. It was pretty cool to see. That's pretty dope. So from the 2300 Arena, ECW OG Arena right there. Shout out to ECW, man. ECW from the Tazes, the Ravens, and the Tommy Dreamers, man. Oh, the Sandmans and the Saboos, rest in peace, man. ECW, man, I gotta tell the story. So I'll never forget. Shout out to Dorian. I don't know what he's doing nowadays, but shout out to him. But he came over to my boy's house, one of our friends, and he was like, "Yeah, this ECW pay-per-view tonight." And if I'm not mistaken, they had either they had bought it or they had the illegal box. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is up. It's up. But so, man, we had the ECW, and that was when Taz fought Bam Bam Bigelow, and he kind of he choked him out on the ramp. He came up from the ramp. First of all, they had a kick-ass match. And then he came up for the ramp, and we were all going for Bam Bam. But when he climbed out of that hole, I think he did a suplex onto the hole, and they fell through the ramp or some shit. They came out of the ramp, and man, he ran over there, and he was like, he choked out Bam Bam. He was trying to reach the ropes, and he tapped out, or he fell out, one or the other. Awesome stuff. I forget what show that was, but man, that was freaking incredible. We were yelling all over that pay-per-view. Oh. That and the ladder match. If you've never seen, I think it was that first ladder match where WWE put out a DVD where it was called the ladder match or something like that. It was like the first one of its kind. I know they had like 2 or 3 or 4 since then, but I think during the DVD days, shout out to my millennials, shout out to us. He came out and they came out with this DVD, and we watched a bunch of ladder matches. Me over my friend's house. Shout out to my bros. And man, absolutely insane. That's all I can say. I think we watched like 4 or 5 ladder matches or TLC, whatever. It was nuts. Absolutely mother effing nuts. So before we get into it, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Hit the like button. As always, where's my thing? Hit the like button. And let's get into it. So, first thing we had FTR. We had FTR. What the hell's going on here? Get this off my screen. All right, we have FTR out there. FTR comes out with Big Stoke because he gets all the. Oh, I'm back on TikTok, so let me be careful. He gets all the ladies of the night. So they hit the ring, they pop out. Finally, FTR, they talked about how mad they were and it wasn't their fault, and they ranted about being cheated at Forbidden Door until Adam Copeland, Mr. Cope, came out. And this was funny because he came out and he's looking for Christian like this, and Christian's nowhere to be found. Christian then comes into the ring the other way, hits the Unprettier, and calls it a day on Big Stoke. So before all this, they were talking to the referee. They were mad. The crowd was chanting, "Shut the F up," and all of that. But when they came out and he caught the Unprettier, now it was a big old brawl. They came out. They started fighting. And after that, like I said, he was looking for Christian. Christian was nowhere to be found. So officials came out. They separated both teams. Copeland hits the mic, and he tells Hardwood that he understands he has a father. And everybody's like, "Oh my God." Everybody's like, "Uh-oh. He's doing it again. Christian, stop it." So Cope takes the mic from him and says, "Listen, no, we're not doing it." And then the people were like, oh, boo, come on. So he said, oh, what the hell? Gave him the mic back, and he said, your father, and I think he's dead. Everybody started laughing. Funny stuff, man. This Christian, just don't mention your dad around Christian. And Copeland takes the microphone after saying some stuff that got censored. Basically, F you, F this, whatever. He said he confirms. He talked to TK. Cope and Christian taking on FTR in Toronto, all out, September 20th. Be there or be square. So that's cool. Shout out to them. We had Mox and Danny Garcia. So Moxley defeated Danny Garcia in a hard-hitting match. It was mostly focused around Moxley's ankle, or Moxley focused on the ankle. He focused on Garcia's shoulder. But after he put him in like the one leg Boston Crab, he put him in the sharpshooter, and he put him in the sharpshooter, or the Dragon Tamer, I think. He put it on him again, but he ended up putting the choke on him, rolling him up for the 3 count. So he got the win. So yeah, there's that. So that happened. Danny Garcia trying to rebuild him, trying to see where he fits in all this. But after the match, which was very cool, they were going to, fight and go a list, but he just looked at Danny Garcia like, hey, good job. So I don't know if maybe they're going to make something of it. Maybe he's going to try and elevate Danny Garcia to join them, the Death Riders. I don't know, but Moxley won't waste breath on Darby Allin after the match. To his challenge at All Out on Moxley's behalf. Moxley whispers something to Danny Garcia on the outside and heads back as Mina Shafir tails him as Wheeler Yuta stares down. Garcia smiles at him. Garcia throws a chair. Yuta stays in the ring. And he gets his usual stuff from the Philly crowd. And I believe he's from Philly, but they did not care. So he says, Will Ospreay left Forbidden Door on the stretcher and Chuck Taylor has a broken neck. Then he says the American Dragon and Bryan Danielson, he replaced him. So he's all good. Hook's music hits and everybody was like, oh crap. I wish I had my surprise So everybody was like, Hook. Hook is back, everybody. We like Hook. So Hook comes down. Yuta charges Hook, but Hook sends him crashing into the corner. Locks in the red rum. Sends him crashing into the mat with the right hook and heads to the back. So Hook is back. So we got Wardlow back. So we're losing Ospreay. We're losing Swerve. We got back Wardlow. We got back Hook. So who else is coming back? I don't know. There's a lot of comebacks recently. So in a special exclusive backstage AEW New Japan Forbidden Door at London in the O2 Arena this past Sunday, MJF reveals the stipulation change for his Casino Gauntlet match contract. So he was all mad because he really didn't. He was like, now I have to, basically I win it and then I wanted to do it and now I couldn't do it. Now I have to give advance. He was like, F this. I don't want to give advance. So he was mad. So he basically said, covered in blood, sitting on the floor of his locker room, MJF goes on to address his loss to Hangman Page for the championship. He also mentions that he'll be dealing with Mark Briscoe as he talks about Tony Khan keeping him, Tony Khan not telling him he can no longer cash in that Casino Gauntlet contract for its rightful title shot whenever he chooses. He must announce it in advance. So he's not happy about that, but it is what it is. Megan Bane, Penelope Ford, Chris Stat, and Harley Cameron. Shout out to all these ladies. Stat and Cameron versus Bane and Ford. I liked it. It was great. Now, Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron went on to win, but the ending sequence of this match was great. What I did like is that after the match, the heels were mad. They started fighting some more, but they got a little help towards the end. And after the match, Bane pulls Cameron out of the ring, brawls with Stat. Excuse me, burping all over the place. Stat rocks Bane with the super kick, but Willow Nightingale slides into the ring to stop Statlander, and Ford pulls Bane out of it. So The on-again, off-again frenemies, Willow Nightingale and Stat, were face-to-face, but Stat is a babyface again. When she had that heel, turn babyface out of nowhere, turn back heel, turn back babyface. Remember that? That happened like 6 months ago. Now, the thing here is this. What I don't like is that they have so much talent on the women's side, but how the hell are these women ever going to get any burn if they're never on TV? There's only so much TV time to go around, which is the problem. But on top of that, they got so many women that they could be doing stuff with. They just got back the Ginger. They just got back what the hell is this girl's name? Jamie Hayter. They just got her back. They got Stat, they got Willow, they got Harley Cameron, who had a nice little run. They got Marina Shirakawa. She did a promo tonight. They got so many freaking people that they can use. It's like, how are you going to use everybody? How, Sway? When the women only get like one freaking match on TV. And nobody watches Collision. So if you put the women on Collision, I guess okay, but nobody watches it. But man, just looking at this round, I'm like, God damn, they got so many women who are dope, who deserve to be in that spotlight. So next we had Mercedes Moné. She came out and had a belt collector segment with her 215,000 belts. She celebrated with her global domination, displaying all her belts, and warning every champion in wrestling that she intends to take their titles. Okay.
Nope.
And she's going to be Alex Windsor, because Alex Windsor tapped her out. So she's going to be her too. And put her right next to her husband, Will Ospreay. Unfortunately. Okay, cool. So we had an all-star. Okay, hold on. Stop the show. My man, TK, brother, I'm tired of all of these all-stars and all-star tag team $200, $100, $800,000 purse bid matches. Every freaking tag team match doesn't got to be called the all-star match. Come on, son. We got all-star this. We got all-star that. We got an all-star 2-man tag, an all-star 8-man tag, an all-star 50-man tag. What the holy hell? Shit. Jesus Christ. Too many all-stars. Okay, back at it. So, we had Mark Briscoe, before we get to the all-star $300,000 1894 match. We had Mark Briscoe basically put out an issue to challenge Kyle Fletcher and fire back at MJF for his comments. Now, what I foresee here is MJF is going to cost him. Mark Briscoe loses a lot. Now, he does win, and he's super over, and we love him because he's Mark Briscoe. But god damn it, that man loses a lot. I want to see that man win a title, if not this year, early next year. Because he's got that spot where it's like, we think he can. He gets there, and he loses the big one. They might as well just make a story out of it and have him win the big one. Maybe next year. I don't know if it's going to be the TNT belt. I don't know if it's going to be the World Heavyweight belt. I don't know. But I'm assuming that has to be a story, because it's like he always wins and loses the big one. MJF will factor into that. Believe you me, he will. So, Don Callis family versus Jet Speed and Brodito in an 8-man all-star tag match. Kenosuke Takeshita, Okada Hesiero, and Josh Alexander. All good and fun here, back and forth match. But in the end, Speedball was going for a 450 or something like that. He missed it. And at the end, he tried to go for a move, but got rolled up. And because he got rolled up, the babyfaces lost. They lost. And the Don Callis family gets the win. So, good match, crazy match. Obviously, these AEW matches are nuts, but the tag team matches, they're crazy. But that's what happened there. So, next up, we had, first of all, we will hear from Hangman Adam Page, which is great. So, Hangman Adam Page. Did I pass it? Oh, I didn't pass it. It's right here. Let's go to the Ops before we go to Hangman. So, the Ops fought Ricochet, Gates of Agony, and the Ops won by Joe choking out Mr. Ricochet. Okay, great. So, before that, we had Josh Alexander, Hisiero, Lance Archer, and Rocky Romero all make their way to the ring after Page was cutting this promo, and he says, "I am not a dumbass, so I know what's going to happen." So he went on the offensive. But the 4 men outnumbered him. Jet Speed came back out. Jet Speed reemerged and came back out, but Romero hit Speedball Mike Bailey with a baton. But then a returning Kenny Omega then appeared out of nowhere, takes out Hisiero, then does a Snapdragon to Romero. Then Alexander grabs the baton from Archer. Page lands a boot to Archer, and Omega delivers a Uranagi to Archer. And then Omega and Page delivered a buckshot lariat V-trigger combo to Lance Archer, and he is donezo. So, yeah, this was good. This was good stuff here. A returning Kenny Omega. I'm all for it. Omega is... I saw some people online criticizing. What is up with me, yo?
Nope. You stupid.
Criticizing Omega. He looks a little puffy around the midsection. You do understand the man almost died. Diverticulitis is no small thing. I think he had 2 feet of his colon removed. That's nothing to F around with. And the brother almost died. Can you give him some time to get back in shape? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's in shape. He's never not in shape, most likely. But Omega's getting a little up there, too. What's he, in the mid-40s now? Omega's in his mid-40s now. We're not going to sit up here and act like he's 23 years old again. Give the brother a break. Like, he's still probably dealing with being healthy, right? Let alone... Remember, but when Omega had the titles and he was the belt collector, he was beat the hell up. Omega was messed up. And he finally, after all this time, he finally tried to get through the pay-per-view, get through this, get through that. And he just started fixing stuff. First it was the knee, then the shoulder, then the wrist, then the damn diverticulitis. He's been through a lot. So he doesn't have to be the old Kenny Omega that we used to see 5, 10, 15 years ago. He can be who he is, and he'll be fine. So, let's move along. We had Claudio Falls Count Anywhere match. Claudio versus Darby. Let's pick it up towards the end. Allen hit the ropes, looking to do to Castagnoli what the Death Riders did to Will Ospreay after the unsanctioned lie down match at Forbidden Door. Castagnoli stops him, however, and Donkey Kongs him into a pile of chairs for a 2 count. He hit this crazy, grab Darby off the top rope and just threw him backwards onto a bunch of chairs. That was absolutely bananas. He then picks up Allen, launches him through a table in the corner. He quickly follows up with another attempt. Once again, only for a 2 count for his troubles. Fans begin rallying behind Darby. Darby is slow to recover, but Darby's nuts. Darby Allin then starts to fight back. However, when it comes to he connects with a code red. He goes for the cover, but Claudio survives. Allen follows it up, climbing the ropes and hitting the coffin drop. He pops right back up, climbs the ropes for a second time, and hits a follow-up coffin drop for the win. So, first of all, Darby's mad quick, mad athletic, and his pain tolerance is literally...
It's over 9,000!
So... anything he does when he fights these bigger guys and he beats them, I get it. I understand. I'm not one of those, he's little, he shouldn't be beating bigger guys. Nah, F all that. There's a good way to tell a story, and they tell a good story, so I think it's okay. That's just me. Now, once the match wraps up, a mystery man in a hood hits the ring and begins attacking Allen. He pulls the hood off to reveal it's none other than Gabe Kidd, one of the members of the Death Riders. In the unsanctioned match at Forbidden Door, Jon Moxley and the Death Riders make their way out to join, but Allen manages to flee the ring and hop the barricade, runs through the crowd, runs out the back door. Mox helping up Claudio in the ring. They go after him, but decide against it because Darby is long gone. And that's how they wrapped it up. So, like I said, decent stuff here. It wasn't all bad, but we got to follow up on certain things like where the F is Wardlow? Why haven't we heard anything about that? Certain things I just don't care about, like the op stuff. Not a whole lot invested. The MJF Hangman stuff I'm invested in. Omega's back, and Omega came back to help him out. I'm invested in that. Don Callis family, Takeshita and Okada had a shoving match in the middle of that. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm looking forward to some of this stuff, but the Mercedes Moné stuff, the stuff with the ladies. Hook is back, so we see where he fits in. But we gotta do better. We have to do better. Not everything is bad, but there's still some things that it's like, what the hell are we doing on this show? So that's all I got. So that's all I got for you guys today. Everybody be easy, enjoy the day, be safe. As for me, I am out. So everybody be safe. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. SmackDown tonight. Go check out my predictions for this week's PLE. And I'm out. Peace.